5 years from now, you are going to be somewhere. The question is not whether time will pass. It will. 5 years will happen whether you do anything or not. The only question is what you will have built by the time it gets there. I want you to do something for a second. Think back 5 years. Where were you? What did you have? What did you wish you had started back then? Most people think about that and feel one specific thing: regret. Not because they were lazy, not because they were stupid, but because nobody sat them down and showed them what 5 years of consistent, boring, unglamorous financial decisions could actually produce. So that is what this video is. The realistic version. Not the highlight reel, not the crypto story, not the guy who made $1 million in 18 months. The actual path that works for normal people with normal incomes who are willing to be patient and consistent. If you watch this whole video and apply even half of it, 5 years from now, you will be in a completely different position. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. Why 5 years is the magic number. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and massively underestimate what they can do in 5. In 1 year, you can save some money, pay off a small debt, start an account. These are real wins, but they do not feel dramatic. They do not feel like wealth. In 5 years, if you make consistent decisions starting today, the compounding effect starts to show up in a way you can actually see and feel. Your investment account is not just a number on a screen. It is producing returns that are larger than what you originally put in. Your debt situation looks different. Your options look different. You start to feel something that most people never feel: financial breathing room. But here's the thing about 5 years. It only works if you start now. Not next month, not when things settle down, now. Every month you delay is a month of compounding you permanently lose. You cannot get it back. The math on this is not forgiving. It is just honest. $1 invested today is worth more than $1 invested 6 months from now. Always, without exception. So the first thing you need to understand about building wealth in 5 years is that the plan does not start when you feel ready. It starts when you decide. The foundation, year 1. Year 1 is not sexy. I'm going to tell you that up front so you do not get disappointed when it feels slow. Year 1 is about building the foundation that everything else sits on. And there are 3 things you absolutely must do before you even think about investing, building, or growing. First, know your actual number. Most people have a vague sense of their finances. They know roughly what they earn and roughly what they spend. Roughly is not good enough anymore. You need to know your exact monthly income, your exact fixed expenses, and your exact discretionary spending. Write it down. This takes 1 afternoon, and it will tell you something most people never actually know: what your real surplus is every month. That surplus, the gap between what comes in and what goes out, is your wealth-building fuel. If the surplus is 0 or negative, your first job in year 1 is to widen that gap. Either earn more, spend less, or both. Second, build your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses in a high-yield savings account. Not invested, not tied up, liquid and accessible. This is not optional. Without this, any unexpected expense, a medical bill, a car repair, a job loss, will wipe out whatever progress you have made and force you into debt. The emergency fund is not an investment. It is the foundation that lets you invest without fear. Third, kill high-interest debt. Any debt above 8% interest rate needs to go before serious investing begins. Credit cards, personal loans, anything expensive. The guaranteed return you get from eliminating 22% interest debt is something no investment can reliably match. Pay it off. This is not exciting. It is also not optional. Once those 3 things are in place, you know your surplus, you have your emergency fund, and your expensive debt is gone, you have built the foundation. Year 1 is done, and you are already ahead of the majority of people your age. The growth engine, years 2 and 3. This is where the plan actually starts to feel different. With your foundation in place, your surplus every month now has a destination, and that destination follows a specific order. Step 1, capture every dollar of your employer match.
If your employer offers a 401k match and you are not contributing enough to capture it fully, you are leaving free money on the table. This is a guaranteed 100% return before the market does anything. It is the highest guaranteed return available to anyone. Do this first, always. Step 2. Max your Roth IRA. $7,000 per year. If you're in the UK, a stocks and shares ISA. Inside this account, you put one fund, a total market index fund or an S&P 500 index fund. You do not pick individual stocks. You do not try to time the market. You buy the entire market and you hold it. Here is why this matters so much in years 2 and 3 specifically. The money you invest in year 2 has 3 full years to compound before your 5-year mark. The money you invest in year 3 has 2 years. Every year of compounding matters enormously. You are not just investing money, you are investing time. And time is the only variable in this equation that you genuinely cannot buy back.
Step 3, increase your income intentionally. Most wealth plans talk only about saving and investing. They ignore the income side of the equation. But here is the reality. There is a ceiling on how much you can cut from your expenses. There is no ceiling on how much you can earn. In years 2 and 3, while your investments are compounding in the background, your active focus should also be on increasing what you bring in: a skill upgrade, a side project, a negotiation for a raise, a freelance service. Whatever is realistic for your specific situation, the goal is to widen that monthly surplus. Because every extra $100 per month invested over 3 years becomes something meaningful.
The compounding shift, years 4 and 5, that most people never experience because they quit before they get there. Your investments start to feel like they have their own momentum. The returns on what you invested in year 1 and year 2 are now larger than your monthly contributions. The account is growing, not just because you are adding to it, but because the money that is already there is working. This is the compounding shift, and it is the moment that separates people who build wealth from people who save money. At this point, your job becomes simple. Do not stop. Do not panic when the market drops. Do not move the money. Do not check it every day. The volatility that used to scare you is now something you understand. It is temporary noise on a long-term upward line. In years 4 and 5, you also start to notice your options expanding. Because you have an emergency fund, you're not desperate. Because you have investments, you have breathing room. Because you have been intentional about income, you earn more than you did 5 years ago. Opportunities that used to feel out of reach start to look possible. A down payment, a business, a career change, a better negotiation. This is what wealth actually feels like. Not a number, options.
Let me be honest with you about something. This plan is not complicated. You have heard versions of most of this before. The reason it does not work for most people is not because they do not understand it. It is because they do not start. They wait for the right moment. They wait until debt is lower or income is higher or life is less complicated. And 5 years passes. The people who build real wealth in 5 years are not the ones who found a secret strategy. They are the ones who started with an imperfect plan, stayed consistent when it felt slow, and did not stop. 5 years from now is coming regardless. The only question is what you will have built by the time it gets there. Start today. If this gave you a clear picture of what the next 5 years could look like, share it with someone who is waiting for the right moment, because this is the right moment. Subscribe. I will see you in the next one.